You know when you grab a sealed bag of chips, or coffee, or even one of those little sugar packets? They seem so simple, right? But behind that perfect, clean seal is an absolute marvel of high-speed engineering. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible machine that makes it all happen.
And our guide for this whole thing? It's a little unconventional. It's the actual operations manual for the machine. And I just had to share this quote from the intro. It's so earnest, so charming, it just sets the perfect tone for exploring a piece of machinery that is, in its own way, a real work of art.
But seriously, just think about it for a second. Every single bag is the exact same length, the logo is dead center, the seal is completely airtight, and factories are churning these out by the thousands every single hour. How is that kind of precision and speed even possible? Well, the answer lies inside one brilliant machine. And this is it, the DXD, Automatic Packaging Machine. We're going to use its own instruction book like a treasure map to decode all its secrets, from the whirring mechanical parts all the way to the digital brain that controls the entire show. So our first stop is just to get our heads around the machine's main purpose. And I'm borrowing this title directly from the manual's cover because, honestly, I couldn't say it any better myself. Specialty makes the perfection. So what is its specialty? Well, if you strip away all the complex gears and wires, this machine is a master of transformation. It takes a simple roll of plastic film and whatever loose product you have, granules, powder, liquid, you name it, and it combines them into those perfect little packages we see on every store shelf. And get this single machine crams an unbelievable number of jobs into one smooth, continuous process. It's not just making a bag. Nope, it's weighing the product, forming the bag, filling it up, sealing it tight, cutting it free, counting how many it's made, and even printing the date on it. All of it, totally automated, in a fraction of a second. Okay, now let's get into the mechanics of how this thing is actually built. This is where it gets really, really cool. The process isn't just a series of clunky robotic actions. It's a beautifully synchronized sequence of movements. It's like a mechanical ballet. The manual describes the very first step with this wonderfully technical phrase. Now, that sounds a bit dense, I know, but it's describing the exact moment a bag is born from just a flat sheet of plastic. So, what does that actually mean? It's actually pretty elegant. The flat film gets fed into the machine and it wraps itself around a metal shaping tool, kind of like how you'd wrap paper around a gift tube. And just like that, a two-dimensional sheet becomes a three-dimensional form, all ready to be filled. You gotta love the term massage wheel, right? This next quote from the manual is talking about how the machine pulls exactly the right amount of film for every single bag. It hints at this high-tech conversation that's happening between all the different parts of the machine. And here's how that conversation goes. Okay, so our tube of film is now in position waiting. This is when the filler head does its job. A perfectly measured amount of product, whether it's coffee beans or soup mix or shampoo, gets dropped right into the open top. And this has to happen at the exact right millisecond in the cycle. And finally, we gotta seal the bag and cut it free. The manual describes this with another great bit of mechanical poetry about cams and turning arms. This is the grand finale of our mechanical ballet. And here's where it gets just genius-level efficient. A pair of hot metal jaws clamps down hard on the film tube. And this one single action does three things at once. It seals the top of the bag that was just filled, it creates the bottom seal for the next bag coming down the line, and a tiny knife pops out and cuts the finished bag free. Boom, all in one go. But all of this incredible mechanical clockwork, it doesn't just happen on its own. The whole thing is being orchestrated by a central command system, the machine's digital brain. And that brain is something called a PLC. A programmable logic controller. It's basically a small, rugged computer where an operator sets everything, from how long the bag should be to how hot the sealers get. It's the conductor of this whole industrial orchestra. Now, one of the most critical settings is what the manual calls the electric eye. On the control panel, you can choose color code on, and on this particular screen, you see it in Korean. This tells a sensor to look for a little printed mark on the film, making sure the cut happens in the exact same spot so the logo is perfectly centered. If you're using plain unprinted film, you just turn it off and tell the machine, hey, cut a bag every 10 centimeters. Simple as that. And that brings us to a final, really crucial point. Even with all this mind-blowing automation, perfection isn't, well, It isn't automatic. It still requires a skilled human touch, someone who really understands how to fine-tune this machine for a flawless result.
Because, things can go wrong. What happens if the packaging material is a little different today? Or the temperature in the factory changes? What if the seal just doesn't look right?
Well, the manual is packed with troubleshooting guides just like this one. If the seal is weak and won't stick, the temperature's too low, so you turn it up. If it's all wrinkly and melted, it's too high. Turn it down. And my personal favorite diagnosis from the manual, if the heat sealing is being lax, that means the pressure is uneven, and the operator literally has to go and physically adjust the sealing jaws. It's a real blend of science and hands-on craft.
And this thinking applies to everything. The pressure of those pulling wheels, the exact timing of the product drop, the position of the cutting knife, every single variable can be tweaked and dialed in. The machine provides all the power, but it's the operator who provides the artistry.
So the next time you tear open a bag of snacks, just take a second to look at it. Are you going to see just a disposable wrapper? Or are you going to see the end result of a high-speed mechanical ballet commanded by a digital brain and perfected by a human hand? I really hope you'll see the ballet.